just came across this thing, right? Um, I just had something in my mind, and I just wanted to share real quick. It is a little late. I'm not gonna lie, so everyone's in bed, so I'm gonna try to keep it down just a little bit. So, I just came across this thought. Okay. And it's a quote. I'm not gonna say the name because, well, it is a quote by Eminem. Okay. Have you ever loved someone so much that you give an arm for? No. Literally an armful. And I'm at that place. Because there's just things that the internet doesn't need to know, and there's some things that they do know. Okay. For some people, they know what I'm about. They know I make videos. Okay. But I've been hurt so many times. It's not even funny. So I was thinking about this, I don't know, a few days ago. I was like, you know what? What can I do that is a little different? Okay. I've pre-recorded a video. I didn't like how it was. I was rambling too much. I was just not okay. Because I was mentally wrecked, if you will. But I'm not going to include any of the footage or anything like that because it was too long. It was like 40 minutes long. I just raw footage. I didn't want to do that. So I was thinking, I was like, I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep my thoughts and everything that I do on camera, because my thought process at this very moment is: have you ever loved someone so much that you give an arm for? I would. And I have. I've got a bad back because of that. I have a bad back because of other reasons. But mainly I have a bad back because I love someone so much that I thought they were the one. I don't know. But I thought, okay? And I was just talking to a certain someone, and I was like, can I ask you a question? And they're like, yeah, sure, you can ask me the question you want. I'm like, how do you know? Do you love this person? And they go, well, duh, I love this person. And they're having issues. And I'm not going to say any names or anything like that, but they have issues. And I was just talking to them. And I go, how do you know? How do you know you love her? Or, in this case, how do you know you love your significant other? And he goes, I'm going to answer this as real as I can. Life doesn't make sense without her. Without her, nothing makes sense. Because I'm happy with her. I'm happy when I'm around her. I'm happy when we're just doing random things. So I was like, okay, well, that's a clear indication you're madly in love. And this is, I think, his fifth girlfriend. His actual real girlfriend that lasts year and a half, I think is what he said. But it takes 190 days, I think, for a man to realize that he's in love. I think like 190, I think it is. But I don't want to make this too long. But my thought process on that, I was talking to him, I was like, okay, you clearly know you're in love. And he's like, yeah, I already figured that out from 100 and some odd days. And I was talking to him. I was like, honestly, bud, I'm going to be straight up honest. Do you see a future with her? And he goes, well, duh, is that even a question? I was like, yes, it's an actual question. I need you to answer it truthfully. And he goes, yeah, I see a future. I was like, okay, do you see kids? Do you see this? Do you see that? He goes, yeah, I do see all that. I see me marrying this girl. I see me doing things with this. I'm like, okay, what do your family think? And they literally go, we adore her. We absolutely just love the crap out of her. And then he goes to a certain other person, and he's just like, yeah, no. Everyone adores her but this one person. And that's me. And I look at her, I'm like, he knows I read people for a living. So he looks at me and goes, why don't you like her? I was like, there's just something about her that doesn't make sense. I just can't read this one thing that just doesn't make sense. It's not a red flag, it's nothing bad, but there's just this one thing I cannot make sense. It doesn't make logically any sense why it's here. So I took him on the side. I was like, so what does this mean? And he goes, oh, that's an issue that we've been having. I was like, an issue? What do you mean issue? And he goes, it's nothing bad, but we lack communication. I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's every relationship. You'll have ups and downs and stuff like that. That makes sense. But I was talking to him, I was like, what makes or breaks a relationship? He goes, lack of communication takes the cake. Takes it. No communication takes the cake. And he's right. No communication is key to every relationship. Every relationship. I'm not going to be a love doctor here. I did that in high school. Like, I looked at relationships all the time and said, just by the way they're holding hands, they're going to break up. Just by the way they're talking. Like, I did this for a living. I made money. I bet on money doing this. So I know what I'm doing. And that there's just this one thing that doesn't make sense, and it still doesn't make sense. But I went to him for it, and he kind of elaborated on it. And he goes, since you know what you're doing, what do you think? I was like, honestly, is she happy? Well, yeah, I hope so. I'm like, are you happy? Because if you're not happy, she's not happy. Because there's a connection here. There's a special bond here. And he goes, well, yeah, I'm happy with her. She's happy with me. So it's a win-win. And then I'm like, is she just using your money? Because we both know how much money you make. And he goes, no. She doesn't care for that because she's supportive of what I did. I was like, so how'd you tell her how much money you made? He goes, I haven't. What he did is he looked crappy, and if she judged him for that, then the way he does things after makes sense. I was like, okay, so what'd you do? He goes, I looked crappy. Crummy. Crumb is a better word for it, but he looked crummy. I was like, okay, well, what'd you look like? He goes, just a white tank top and shorts. I was like, okay, well, I wear white tank tops, so that's clearly not obvious. And he goes, no. I wore a holy. I'm like, okay, man, you're pointing me out here. He goes, no. I wore a holy white tank top and a shirt over. I was like, okay, so you're basically explaining me. He goes, I'm not trying to, but you just happen to wear a white t-shirt with holy stuff in it. And I go, honestly, get to the point here. And he goes, okay. I wear a holy tank top, holy jeans, and holy shoes to prove a point. If she found me attractive then, she's going to find me attractive after. I was like, that makes no sense. So his girlfriend comes along and she's like, okay, it makes perfect sense when you realize what he did. He wore a holy tank top, holy shirt, holy jeans, holy shoes. And I didn't care for it because I found him attractive because of his personality. That's what made me fall in love with him, is his personality. I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. So he found his significant other by just working in the workspace. He didn't go to college. He actually dropped out of college. He didn't go to high school. He dropped out of high school. So he's a high school dropout making, I'm going to say 6 figures a year. That's a lot. That's good money. And I know how much he makes because I know him personally. But I don't want to make this as long as I have. So, I mean, I just came on here. If you guys understand any of that, congratulations. But if you don't, come back to this video and it will make sense. As always, I will see you guys in the next one, no matter what you're doing. Keep it positive, keep it moving, keep loving others.